Okay, we are back, and I've got a super early build this time. The new Odion cards dropped, and they have a bit of synergy with, as you'll probably tell from the title, Blue Eyes. It's really early. I haven't got the ratios like set up or anything, but we'll get into it. We'll have a discussion. We'll talk about the synergies. We'll see if we can make a build, because I think the Odion cards, in a way smaller density, have some upward potential. So, we start off with two of the Blue Eyes. You have to play it. It's the brick. I don't know what to tell you. Two, because we do fear bestials. Three of the Anubis. I'll very quickly get this set out, because we can just do the whole Odion engine in a hit, and then we can just do the Blue Eyes engine because that's the more substantial one. But yeah, Anubis will find the man with the mask. The entire deck is Rotors, Drolleys, Crippling. The man with the mask has an amount of protection, but the largest thing is he finds Temple of the King, which is absolutely... Oh, Treasures of the King even, it's the retrain of Temple. So this is everything to the deck. On activation, you get to set a Apophis. You would set this Apophis, and then you set literally any other card in the spell and trap zone, so usually like a Blue Eyes one. So say you've got Wishes or something, set that, trigger it, it'll search for another card in archetype, I believe monster, the target's the Scorpion anyway. You banish an Anubis from deck, spec the Scorpion searches the other half of the temple, you activate the temple, this turns it on. That's pretty much your combo line, and Moz is not going to be happy because I've just veered away from just a straight up profile. But, you know, we're helpful here. So, get everything back to how it was. And I should have saved that from the end. Sorry, Moz. So, three of the Anubis to find the guy that finds the thing. Which does mean Droll is absolutely crippling. We've got the original temple, because that lets you activate a trap on the turn. And then the Scorpion, which is also a searcher and notably a 6, which will come up. You've then got the 3 traps. This one pretty much summons itself as a trap monster and lets you activate. Search a trap, set it, activate at the same turn, which is the Swamp Deity, which is kind of like a Desiree for 2. We play some hand traps, so we've got 3 Fuwalos, 3 Ash, Baylor because it's searchable, and Imperms. This is a really generic hand trap lineup. Just kind of to show space, you probably want to expand on the space, and play a bit more non-engine than I am. And then you have the standard Blue Eyes engine of 2 White Dragon, 3 Maiden of White, 3 Sage, the Telly, the Searcher Beam Wishes, the Mausoleum for the double summon, the Icarus attacking Majesty, and True Light. I have put Terraforming in because it's double field spell deck. So like, I think we're kind of familiar with the Blue Eyes side now. I've got 1 Spirit, which, I don't know, I really want to play 2. I do, but there's some weird positioning problems with this deck, and I've had to cut down on a Spirit to fit something else in. The other thing is this will just die going second. You need Breaker Heavy. A Seals, because it's Seals. 3 Big Spirit. 2 of the bigger Spirit. Now, this is like the weird little dance that you kind of maybe need to do, where you want to get into something like a Crystal Wing, and you need to use the EMZ. To get into the Crystal Wing, you probably want to be abusing the Maiden effect to Reborn whenever it's targeted, and just floating into it in your opponent's turn isn't the worst thing to have the live negate. It'll pop an end phase, the spirit will come back. Your board's still pretty good. We've got AFD because we're a double field spell deck, and we use wands, so that means we can actually bridge into Crystal Wing. We've got the 2 Apophis, which is the extra deck Apophis, I should say. Psychic Contact Fusion, you just tribute 2 of the traps when they're out, which you can do in turn 1 because of the way the engine's set up. And then you can reset those 2, and then when one is activated, you get a pop in your opponent's turn. It's kind of like Silu Hat. Notably, I'm not playing Silu Hat in this because I'm just trying to keep it down lower. Tyrant, and the targeting protection that lets you go into Tyrant, which is the Neo. Just because Tyrant control is particularly potent in this, I guess, if you end up pulling into a grind. You've got a lot of options, and then we have a Garura and a Mudragon just to kind of signify, like, insert your breakers here. Do you want to play Ulti Slayer? Do you want to play Super Poly? You're going to need to do something. So I'll just run this kind of explanation real quick. Let's say you've got the man with the mark. We'll grab the Anubis because he's cooler. And you've got a Sage. This is like, in theory, everything. So we pitch the Anubis. All of this is just kind of fiending interaction to an extent. If it's this specific hand setup, then it's a little awkward if your man with the mark just gets stopped. But otherwise, man with the mark, grab treasures, activate the treasures. Ideally, you could do with a second set in hand, so let's just say it's wishes. You often will just have access. It doesn't totally self-facilitate, but with the amount of spells that you run in Blue Eyes, it's pretty fine. So treasures will activate on placement. It's not placed, it is activated. And we want to set Apophis the Serpent from deck. You only play one of this because the combo is not dead. If you draw it, it is if you draw both of the other ones. And then you just set that. Trigger treasures to search your Scorpion. Serket, I believe. And then you will Serket, banish an Anubis, special the Serket, activate Serket to search for the OG Temple of the Kings. Place that. Again, it's not place, I keep saying that. You'd activate your Apophis, the Serpent, which would special itself. Set Apophis the Swamp Deity. Activate that. Don't know why I'm setting it in the monster zone. Activate that, it'll special itself. Field spell off to the side at the minute. Tribute both of them. Get the payoff. And then you can reset both of them. The whole thing with all of this is then once you have done this and got through all of that, let's say it's just a blank that you could set, you then link off your man with the mask because it is a level 4 spellcaster, go into your Sage, grab your Mausoleum, activate the Mausoleum, and suddenly you just go full Blue Eyes combo after that and kind of smoke screen it. you really want to always be leading with your Apophis stuff. But I think with these ratios, it's not unrealistic to do so. I think you will even want to kind of play chicken and get that a little lower. Kind of make room for some more non-engine. Just with it being a little heavy on rotors. But yeah, other than that, I think the only mandatory one, like, you don't necessarily have to play 2 of that, but you kind of want to be able to clear your board sometimes of the traps and get them back into the back row if you're kind of grinding a little. Zone management is an absolute pain. You die super hard to draw, but it's very different, and the end board is cracked. Like, you're essentially putting a Desiree on top of a Blue Eyes board. Still has the innate weakness to Nib as well, which everyone seems to be trying to work out how to get around. But yeah, give it a go. Let's see if we can build something. Get in the comments more than ever on this one. I kind of want to see what can be done. I think less is definitely going to be more with it. And it's not going to be a case of just adding more of the traps. I've already cut, like, the Statue of Anguish, which everyone seemed to be playing on first impressions. Absolute minimum trap lineup. You just want the Desiree, really, because it's such a strong interaction, and it's held in the back row. So it diversifies your board a little bit. The other thing is, as long as you are getting to Sage, like, they think they've just turned off your entire board, you link off Man with the Mark and go right ahead into Blue Eyes. I imagine the same with, like, Blue Eyes Primite. Sometimes you'll just be stuck playing one half of the engine or the other. Sometimes it happens. Both engines can kind of hold out until you get there with the other. Be aware of managing your dragon locks, and particularly the spirit lock, of it being on field. You can't summon anything but dragons. But yeah, other than that, I might kind of, like, roll up a board or something, or if anyone wants to jump in the stream and request that I kind of showcase it, that's every Friday. Within reason, if you're watching this video in, like, 2 years down the line, because we do get comments like that, you know, might not be Fridays or whatever, but we should still be about. All that being said, like, comment, subscribe, tell your friends, hit the bell icon, tell me what you think, tell me your ideas with it. Is there anything that I've missed? Are there any, like, really good enablers? But yeah, let's change the subject, people. I am leaving.